I am going to spend a couple of minutes talking about Georgia, South Carolina for two reasons. The first is Kirby Smart put another skull on his mantle yesterday, and it was that of South Carolina football. True Sarah McLachlan special in Columbia, no other way to put it. South Carolina did not meet the freeze point. I think that's pretty obvious, and I think most of us understood that going in. So they didn't have much of a shot to win the game. It was very lopsided. Georgia did what Alabama used to do. They do routinely now what Bama used to do on the road. It's been a couple of years since Bama was this dependable on the road. I am making this comparison for two reasons. Number one, because it's valid. And number two, because my friends over on Dogs 24/7 love nothing more than when I compare the Georgia program to the Bama program. I know they love it. They let me know every time how much they love it, so I'm doing it once more. Now, I've seen some talk out there about how one program's overtaken the other, blah, blah, blah. We're not doing that tonight. I'm talking about this football game. But what they do on the road is not fun for you to watch. They do run it up, and they do leave no doubt about as well as anyone right now. Shark Week prepared me for this. I was thinking about this yesterday when I was driving back to Nashville. I love Shark Week growing up. I loved Shark Week before Shark Week was cool. I'm kind of like Barbara Mandrell to country music, but I am that way to Shark Week. I was Shark Week before Shark Week was cool. And the thing about Shark Week is when they show the great whites and the sea lions, it is sobering for a child to watch. Sea lions are adorable. They are very cute, lovable. You think to yourself, why don't more humans have these things as pets? Here's the problem with a sea lion. The great white does not see it like you and I see it from the comfort of our living room. The great white looks at the sea lion and it sees lunch, and that's it. And when Georgia looks at your program, they don't see upstanding men of character. They don't see bright young minds. They don't see cool logos. They don't care what the mothers and sisters and brothers and uncles think and how they're all in the stands watching their kids play. They just come in and they shred you. They rip you to pieces, and then they leave, and you're splattered all over the place. Shark Week got me ready for what Georgia now does to teams on the road. So I encourage you, if you were a little disturbed by what you saw yesterday, just check out Shark Week. You'll be fine. Anyway, after this game, where there's not really much more to say about what Georgia did, it was annihilation. After the game, Shane Beamer had a press conference, which every coach has, and I started to get some text about it. This game happened early, so it was over midday, and about the time our game starting down at Auburn, I'm starting to get some text about Shane Beamer's post-game remarks. And I, of course, had not seen them. So this was a situation where I'm getting your feedback before I myself have seen what it is you're talking about. So finally, today, I saw what you were talking about. Luckily, we have procured the video. Now, I want you to know before Colin rolls this, a big deal was made about this. And things were said. I'm going to let you react to it, but I'm going to tell you what I think. It won't take long, I promise, on the other side. Let's see it.
You sense any give up in the locker room?
Hell no. What kind of questions that, Phil? We're 1-2. We're 1-2. We got a bunch of fighters in that room, and give up. That's not a part of this football program. Get out of here, man. With that.
So, mainly people unfamiliar with what a foxhole even is had a problem with what Shane Beamer said. If you didn't understand the question, he was asked, do you sense any give up in the locker room? Now, I'm not really going to cast aspersions anywhere. I don't care if the guy wants to ask that question. And for that matter, I don't personally know of any complaining he did about it. He may have. I haven't heard his personal reaction to the answer he got. It may just be other people being offended and he couldn't care less about it. My point is, I don't care that he asked the question. I also don't care about how Beamer reacted, because I'm pretty sure I would have reacted the same way. I heard a lot of folks, and this is the reaction I got from people. People say, well, he just kind of responded as a jerk. No, he responded in a real way. See, a lot of folks out there complain about coach speak and about how coaches won't be real with you, and then one's real with you. You ask him if his team's quit after week 3, and he verbally backhands you, which is what he should have done. It's what I would have done. And also, I got to be careful because there are so many tangents I could go on. People who talk about other people quitting normally have no clue what they're talking about. because they've normally never been in a locker room. And even if you have been in a locker room, but you're not in that locker room, you don't know if anyone's quit. You have no clue what you're talking about. So I always love slamming the door on that. I rarely traffic in that myself. If I am trafficking in it, it's normally November, firstly. And secondly, I have direct knowledge of what I'm talking about. I can pretty well rest assured people talking about South Carolina quitting yesterday didn't have direct knowledge of what they're talking about. Anyway, back on track. Second thing, he needs to handle it better was the other bit of criticism that I got. Because I flat out put on Twitter earlier today, how does anyone have a problem with this? How is this a big deal? And he needs to handle it better. How would you like him to handle it? I asked a couple of you, how would you like him to handle it? Would you like him to respond in utter deference? Does he need to bend a knee to the assembled beat and media there in South Carolina? No. I think that sometimes when adults answer in an adult way, some folks just have a problem with it. They're rubbed the wrong way. But there's a double standard in this sport, and you know it's true. If Nick Saban answered a question that way, you have no problem with it. And yet Shane Beamer answered a question that way, and some of you do have a problem with it for whatever reason. Now, if you want to tell me, well, Nick Saban's a better coach than Shane Beamer, he's got the track record, okay. But you have just admitted there's a double standard. I'm just going to judge them all the same. If I wouldn't have a problem with Kirby or Saban or Dabo answering like that, I don't have a problem with Beamer answering like that.
Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure to leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.